Hi, and thanks for taking the time to check out this video that I put together for you guys. It'll be the first in a weekly sort of top tips for players, for which hopefully you guys can pass on. The sheep will be on the journey with us as well. So the first tip for attacking players or children, I guess, finding themselves in shooting positions is try and think about outcomes in the D. Try and think about what you're trying to get out of a situation that is ultimately pressured and where you're feeling like I must get something out of this situation. Think outcomes and think about taking a stock of situation, being calm and understanding actually, am I in a position where I can score? Could I potentially pass the ball to someone in a better position? Could I deliberately win a foul? So that might be a stick tackle, it might be to put it onto a foot, it might be to gain obstruction. All of those things are ways to maybe create a short corner if you're not in a position where you can get a successful shot off. And think about percentages when you're shooting. Think, right, I may be in an acute angle or somewhere in a position where I'm not probably going to score, so actually now is the time for a pass or to win that foul. So that's top tip number one. Please do pass that one on. The second tip is for our defenders out there. Too often I see young players and older players as well make a fantastic tackle or make a tackle where they don't win the ball and they don't come away with the ball cleanly. So try and encourage your children, if they're in a defending position where they're making a tackle, can they win that ball cleanly? And once they've won that ball, what are they going to do with it? Okay, can they transition from a defending aspect of the game into a really, really good sort of offense or to take the ball up the pitch and create an opportunity? Some children, I think, are too happy with just making a tackle or an interception where the ball goes off the side of the pitch, and actually try and encourage players to win it cleanly, win it successfully, and then look forward and look up, because actually quite often, you know, you're in a position where you can sort of counter-attack against an opposition. So that's top tip number two. The third tip and final tip is a more sort of overall tip for players anywhere on the pitch, is in possession of the ball. When you're carrying the ball, try and just go to space when you've got the ball. Attack space rather than trying to go and find contact with a player. Too often players of all ages will just go and find contact and try and beat a player, and okay, there's times where you need to eliminate and you've got to use those elimination skills, but actually 9 times out of 10, attack space at pace, carry hard, and then decide when the best time is to offload. So that's the third and final tip, I guess, for outfield players. The final one is one for goalkeepers. Okay, when you're playing in your match and your defenders are working around you and they're marking, can you offer really simple and concise snippets of information for them? And that might be just something like step left, step in front, and communicate with players really, really clearly and calmly, because often by screaming or shouting really, really loud distracts and puts players off. So think about that from a goalkeeper's perspective, how you communicate with your players in front of you. Hopefully those tips will help. Please do pass them on to children in preparation perhaps for their games or training this week. There'll be more tips coming out next week. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you soon.